About a year ago, I took a bit of a different look at one of my favorite childhood franchises, Crash Bandicoot. As much as I love that orange marsupial and some of his games, when you really look at the entire franchise, oh, that boy has been through some tough times. Like, immediately after Naughty Dog no longer handled these games, Crash Bash happened. And relax, I'm not gonna go on a big Crash Bash hate fest here. It's a fine enough minigame collection, but it was pretty obvious that quality control stopped being as much of a priority here. Seriously, what is this Kiddy Kong's drunken uncle looking thing? I never want to see this again. And yep, you called it, there are a few more rough patches in this franchise I want to look at before it's all said and done. Got them all right here. This should definitely be a time, alright, a time of which I don't think I should do it alone. Apparently it's like a Crash Bandicoot month or something like that. I think it's time that we phone a friend. Just kidding, the whole idea of calling someone that you're collabing with, that's really cliche. Realistically, we've been working on this for months, so... Caddy, you ready?
No, actually.
Awesome, and with that, I say we get started with... Okay, what'd you just say?
I've been working on my own Crash Bandicoot videos for a while now, so I haven't had time to look at any of the games that you're going to be talking about.
Alright, fair enough. Actually, since you're not all that familiar with these games, I could just, like, show them to you and show you what you've been missing out on. This'll be interesting. I'm digging this. Could I, real quick, borrow your slaughter gun? I could actually use that.
Absolutely not! Get your own.
Noted. Let's get started.
Crash Bandicoot on Game Boy Advance sounds like a recipe for disaster. A good rule of thumb is portable version of console game equals bad, but I'll be damned if these games are really good. Well, kinda good. Oh my god, what the hell is that? Rather than focusing on being original, the two games simply remix themes from the classic games and makes new level designs around them. And even cooler, these games were developed by Vicarious Visions, the guys responsible for the Insane Trilogy and also Crash Oh no.
Another Crash game that doesn't get enough credit is Crash of the Titans. Not an awesome game by any means, but despite being more of a brawler than a platformer featuring a weird, tribal, tattooed Crash, it's still a worthwhile playthrough. And you can see where I'm going with this. Crash of the Titans on Game Boy Advance. Oh boy. Okay, yep, this is gonna be a bit rough. So the plot is pretty similar to the console game. Aku Aku has been kidnapped, Cortex is gonna take over the world, they somehow expect us to believe that Uka Uka can talk without a mouth, Dingodile is here. What? He wasn't in the console game, but they put him in this one. It was weird he wasn't in the console game anyway, because he's one of the best characters in the series, but he's in... Okay, this game has that going for it.
Oh wow, 1 second in and this already looks way worse than the actual Crash GBA games.
Oh, it controls a lot worse too, don't you worry there.
Everything here just looks rough. The sprites are trying to pretend to be 3D models and that doesn't work. The music is annoying too. This short loop is driving me insane. Insane. Oh, Cortex on level 1 with blue hair? How'd they get that wrong? Well, that just happened.
And with that, Aku Aku is saved, and now we can finally jack enemies again.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Jack, you jack enemies. That's one of the main mechanics of the Titans games, is you take Aku Aku and you could jack enemies. This is a family channel, behave yourself.
I don't know what that was.
Well, this is weird. The crystals return, but they're used for invincibility instead. Okay. The invincibility lasted all of 2 seconds. Incredible.
I'll believe you that the console game is pretty good, but this version looks bland and repetitive. All I've seen you do is walk to the right and mindlessly bash enemies with no challenge whatsoever. Levels go on for far too long with no interesting set pieces. This is the type of game that parents get their kids that asked for Crash of the Titans but didn't know it was actually on a home console. And now he's using Aku Aku on a jet ski and a bit looking like Mario is missing. Alright, can we move on, please? Thank you.
Gladly. Now we have Crash of the Titans DS. Oh boy, here we go again. Okay, you know what? This is a nice touch. The title screen is a throwback to Crash 1. That's pretty cool. And honestly, as ready as I was to trash this game to Kingdom Come, it's actually kinda good. The opening cutscene this time is animated in a 3D space, and is even fully voice acted. And, oh my god, it's Crash running down a corridor like the original games. It just has the whole beat 'em up and jacking enemies mechanics, but it's actually fun here. The differences between this and the GBA version are just, wow. You get rewarded for finding collectibles, levels are more varied thematically, there are these bonus side-scrolling rooms, also like the original games. Wow, I'm stunned.
That's pretty crazy, honestly. How is nobody else talking about this game? I certainly don't massively approve of the changes Crash took with this Titan reboot stuff, but for what they were given, this looks surprisingly solid. There are even sections where you get to play as Nina on her quest to transform little woodland creatures into giant monsters. I like it. I like it a lot. And didn't the sequel get a DS port too?
Yeah, it did actually. After being pleasantly surprised with the Crash of the Titans DS, I am more than ready to feel that way about Mind Over Mutant. Okay, the title screen is a single JPEG now. Oh no. Oh no. Well, I guess all the budget here went into making this helmet model spin. Okay, so obviously the cutscenes are way worse here. But you know what? Crash doesn't need to have a really good story anyway. The gameplay is where it shines. Oh, no.
A side-scroller now. Why? Wow, this looks so much worse. Isn't the DS a console known for poor handling of full 3D games? How is the full 3D game the good one and the side-scroller the bad one?
Your guess is as good as mine. This is honestly terrible. The level design is more mind-numbing than Titan's GBA. The combat is more repetitive as well. The mutants are useless. Some enemies use 2D sprites, so they really don't blend in at all with the 3D Titans. Have you ever just had a game that's so bad that you physically couldn't bring yourself to play more of it? Yeah, that's this game right here. I would love to keep playing this and see what the rest of it has to offer. Believe you me, I am telling the truth here. I just can't do it. This is probably the worst Crash Bandicoot game in the entire series. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, after all this, I don't feel so bad for not following Crash after the reboot, because most of these look bloody terrible. But there is one bad Crash game I'm familiar with, and that's Crash Tag Team Racing. I haven't played it for a while. You're ending the video with that, aren't you?
No. I would never do that. I would warn you beforehand if we were. Yes, we're doing that.
When we started planning this collab months ago, why didn't you warn me you were going to torture me?
And ruin the surprise? Where would be the fun in that? Come on now, it's time for some good old Crash Tag Team Racing. Let's go.
I swear, you make a million Kirby videos and all of a sudden you think you're a big shot and you're pushing all these British people around. I just want to play video games.
So Crash Bandicoot has quite a bit of a pedigree in the kart racing department. Crash Team Racing? Fantastic. That game is so good, even now, it's still so awesome. Crash Nitro Kart, not as awesome as the original game was, but still a good time if you want the original game, but it just looks a bit better. So when we were promised a third game of this genre, I was pretty interested. And then, color me shocked to start platforming before I ever step foot in a car. What? Hold on a second. Yeah, okay, that's not what this is. This is really weird. So Crash and the crew got thrown into this big amusement park filled with racetracks, but you actually get to fully explore the park, collecting a bunch of coins, taking on quests, doing some platforming, knocking the hell out of some NPCs. It's not that bad, actually. Oh, wait, I can trigger this apparently. What happens here?
Oh my god.
What in the hell was that? It's a diorama. Okay, 'cause oh, that's sick.
There's a bunch of these throughout the park, and honestly, these just make me super uncomfortable. It's just Crash dying violent deaths. Comedy? Ah, hello citizen, how are you enjoying the park today?
Can you believe how much the souvenirs cost?
Ooh, a photo booth. Interesting.
Well, this video just got demonetized.
There's a handful of weird carnival games too. Like here you shoot flying birds with chickens. You can't, what? I played this game for about an hour before even thinking about doing a race. And I enjoyed my time too, that's the thing, it's very weird. Just because I could, I really tried to prolong the time it took before I got to the first race. And honestly, it turns out that that was for the best, the racing is pretty bad. There's this brand new clashing mechanic that transforms the game from Mario Kart 64 to Double Dash on the fly. At the push of a button right next to someone else's vehicle, you just merge into one. And despite having some really bizarre story with some sort of hell creature that this thing is, nothing explains why you can do this. You just can now. The problem is though, your partner has unlimited ammo, and they're a good shot, and you can use the clash at any time. So it is a guaranteed first place because your partner will just shoot anybody who comes in your way. Or you know what, better yet, just let the computer drive for you and at the last minute just get away and take all the credit. The game tries to be clever, like you can unlock a track's shortcut by finding a secret switch in the overworld, but as a kart racer, yeah, it's bad.
Tag team racing is so weird. It's not necessarily a terrible game, it's just a bad racing game and a bad platformer mixed up with it. But wouldn't that make it a bad game since it's being marketed as a racing game and I'm having more fun watching Crash die? I'm a very bad person.
You are sick in the head, my friend. Huh, this is weird. There's a chicken that you can talk to. Collect the chickens before the time runs out. Okay, I'm up for a collect-a-thon. This should be, oh my god, the park has been infiltrated with T-posing chickens. What a racing game. Well, I can certainly say that my mind has been awakened here. What did you think about all this, Caddy?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Insane Trilogy, thank you very much. I wanted this first Bandicoot month I was doing to go perfectly, so I suppose it's a good thing I knew about these games beforehand.
There were a bunch of Crash games that were released on mobile devices, and a surprising amount of cancelled games as well, so I'm not really done with the franchise just yet.
Before we go though, have you ever tried mashing buttons on Crash Tag Team Racing's loading screen?
I really don't like where this is going, but okay. This collaboration's cancelled.